At 35, I became a widow with a 5-year-old child in my arms. Our shared home suddenly felt empty and cold. But I promised my husband I would live strong. This is the 5-year journey where I never allowed myself to fall apart. Have you ever looked in the mirror and seen a story? Not just your reflection, but a map of your life etched in tiny lines around your eyes and mouth? For me, these aren't just wrinkles. They're chapters of my story, each one earned, each one telling a tale of love, loss, and the strength I never knew I had. My story, the one that carved these first deep lines, began on a Tuesday. The sky was an ordinary, forgettable gray, but my world was about to shatter into a million pieces. The phone rang. A voice on the other end, calm and professional, spoke words that didn't make sense. "There's been an accident. He didn't make it." The receiver slipped from my hand, clattering on the floor. It was like the world went silent. The air turned to cement, thick and heavy in my lungs. I remember just standing there, unable to move, unable to breathe. He was gone. My husband, my partner, my other half. The future we had so carefully planned, the one filled with laughter and growing old together, vanished in that single devastating moment. In the next room, our child was sleeping, blissfully unaware that our family of 3 had just become a family of 2. How was I supposed to tell them? How was I supposed to be a mother when I felt like a child myself, lost and terrified? Despair is a cold, heavy blanket. It wraps around you, suffocating you, telling you that you'll never feel warm again. I pulled that blanket tight around me, sinking into a grief so profound it felt like a physical weight pinning me to the ground. The world kept spinning, but I was stuck, frozen in the echo of that phone call, a ghost in my own life. Suddenly I was a single mother. The title felt foreign, ill-fitting, like a coat that wasn't mine. And with it came a storm of challenges I was completely unprepared for. The first wave was financial. His salary was gone, just like that. Half our income vanished. I'd stare at the stack of bills on the kitchen table, the mortgage, the utilities, the groceries, and a cold panic would seize me. My part-time job was never meant to support a family alone. I started working longer hours, picking up extra shifts whenever I could. Sleep became a luxury I couldn't afford. I learned to stretch every dollar to become an expert in budgeting, to say no to things we once took for granted. The exhaustion was bone deep, a constant ache in my muscles and my soul. But the financial strain was only part of the battle. The world looks at you differently when you're a single mom. There were the pitying glances from other parents at school drop-off, the well-meaning but hurtful comments like, "It must be so hard for you." Friends who were couples slowly drifted away, unsure how to include the third wheel in their perfect 2x2 world. The loneliness was the hardest part. After my child was asleep, the silence in the house was deafening. It was a cavernous, echoing quiet where my fears and insecurities would scream at me. I missed having someone to talk to about my day, someone to share the little triumphs and the crushing defeats with. I was the captain of this ship, but some nights, I felt like I was navigating a hurricane completely alone, with no one to help me hold the wheel. But then, in the midst of that storm, there were moments of pure, unfiltered sunlight. I remember one evening, I was sitting on the floor, surrounded by bills, my head in my hands, trying not to cry. Suddenly, 2 small arms wrapped around my neck. My child, barely old enough to understand, looked at me with those big, worried eyes and whispered, "It's okay, Mommy. I love you." In that instant, the weight on my shoulders felt a little lighter. It was a lifeline. These were the moments that saved me. The sound of their laughter echoing through our small home, a sound so pure and joyful it could chase away the darkest shadows. The sticky hand that would slip into mine as we walked to the park. The crayon drawing of the 2 of us, labeled Best Family, taped proudly to the fridge. Each of these moments was a tiny spark, reigniting the fire within me. I wasn't just grieving a loss. I was raising a life. I was their whole world, and they were mine. For them, I had to be strong. For them, I had to get up off the floor. I began to see that my purpose wasn't just to survive this, but to build a new life for us, a life filled with love and resilience. My child became my reason, my motivation, my North Star guiding me out of the darkness. I started to fight back, not just for me, but for the beautiful future I could see reflected in their hopeful eyes. Looking back, I realized that life tests us in ways we can never predict. It will bend you, it will challenge you, and sometimes it will try to break you. But I want to share something I've learned, something that's been proven to me time and time again. Women are like grass. We may seem soft, delicate, and easily swayed by the wind. But when the storm comes, when the world tries to trample us down, we don't break. We bend. We are rooted deep in the earth, drawing strength from a source that others can't see. And when the storm passes, we rise again. Taller, stronger, and more resilient than before. Each challenge, each hardship, is like a passing storm that only strengthens our roots. These wrinkles on my face, they are not signs of aging or decay. They are proof of my resilience. They are the marks of every storm I've weathered, every tear I've cried, and every time I've stood back up. They tell the story of a woman who bent, but was never, ever broken. So if you're in a storm right now, remember the grass. You are far stronger than you think. You have roots of iron and a spirit that cannot be defeated. Bend with the wind, but never let it break you. You will rise again. The strength of a woman is truly admirable. If you have a story about your mother, share it to spread love. Hit the bell so you don't miss tomorrow's story about a startup's disastrous failure. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It means the world to me to be able to share it with you. If any part of this resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to share our stories and empower each other. Until next time, take care.